The most overlooked peripheral accessory might be the skates. Everyone knows good mice, good mouse pads, good keyboards, good monitors, but you'd be surprised how many people just don't change their mouse skates. Your skates, in certain cases, can be more important than your mousepad. I believe this is true because certain skates will change your mousepad's friction profile a lot. You might feel like your pad is old and worn in, but what if it's just your large arc skates that are worn down? In this video, I'm going to go over my favorite skates in terms of speed, ease of purchase, price, and give you some recommendations. This isn't going to cover the entire market as I'm just one dude giving you my experience with things I've purchased, so I'll leave links to resources that are much broader in terms of coverage than my own if you're interested. And as a bonus, I'm going to show off some new grips and a sleeve I've tried. But let's get into the skates. First, I'll just go over the Ultraglides entirely because many people know of these and they're still a great option in the market. I prefer the Speed and Rensport 2 variants because these give a more raw PTFE feel. These feel fast and maintain consistency through humidity. The Speed and RS2 are nearly identical with a curvature difference on the dots. I don't really notice a difference and they are interchangeable to me on mid pads. These are the silences. These have a foam layer underneath the feet, giving it a quieter swiping sound, hence the silence name. These are good, but my problem with these is that the material has a bit of a bite. This makes it good on faster pads like the Raiden as you get a bit more stopping power and make the pad a bit more versatile across game genres, but these are going to be less humidity resistant. As someone who lives in a slightly humid area and has sweaty hands, these skates can get really muddy over a longer session. The purple and green skates are supposed to be the same as the silences, but without the foam layer. For the price, I'll put these in A tier now. I've noticed that these have gone up in price as they became more popular, so a pack of 80 are around 10 USD. I'd get 2 packs of 80 with an AliExpress coupon for a slight discount, as those are pretty common. If you can get a deal or use AliExpress coins, these are definitely S tier, however. Since we've talked about the Ultraglide silences, these are the Artisan Mizugumo Futai P8 skates. Bit of a long name, but these skates are even less humidity resistant in my experience than the Ultraglide silences. This makes it a bad option for me with sweaty hands and living in an area with inconsistent humidity. I really might be the only person out there who doesn't like Artisan Dots, but I have to give my honest thoughts. These are slightly larger with an 8mm diameter, standard being 6 or 6.5mm, and feature a palm material contributing to that weaker humidity resistance. These feel good for me, but they become muddy in about 30 minutes, making micro adjustments nearly impossible. Maybe I just have sweaty ass hands, I really don't know. These are also $14 for 16 dots, reaching nearly $1 for a single dot. Adding on the fact that these are less durable, affected by humidity more than any other skate I've tried, and reportedly wear your pad down faster, I'm just gonna put these in an unusable tier for me alone. Even if you do prefer the palm friction profile of these skates, I'd really just recommend you to get the Ultraglide silences, which give you a similar profile for a lot cheaper, with the only main difference being the dot size. These are the Westlab Big Oranges, going back to the raw PTFE profile we saw with the Ultraglide Speed and RS2s. I absolutely love these, and the larger dot gives me some insight as to why so many people love the Artisan Dots. The large dot skates give you a bit more area to use on soft pads. If you don't use a mid pad or a glass pad, I'd really recommend getting a larger dot skate. These are noticeably quieter on a lot of pads for me. These are around $3 for 12 dots, so I'll give them an A tier. Despite being a bit more expensive than the Ultraglide Dots, these do have a unique large dot profile, so I'll give them the A tier. Again, this is the raw PTFE profile we saw with the Ultraglide Speed and RS2s, so I really like them for a consistent experience. These are the Kibu XYZ dots, specifically the Shido variant, which are the fastest. These are obviously also a raw PTFE friction profile considering the speed, giving you that good speed and consistency. These also come with a gray and black variant, getting slower and slower with each variant. The black variants are also UPE, which are said to be better for glass in terms of durability, but I wouldn't get these for cloth as I heard that the friction profile isn't really meant for it. I really like these not only for the speed, but the fact that they're available for prime shipping in the States on Amazon. Not only is it just easier to get them shipped, but it's also a really good deal as you get 160 dots for just $15. You can remove the buying friction involved with AliExpress, like hunting deals, looking for free shipping, and waiting a week or more for shipping, all while getting a product that's at least as good as the Ultraglides. These are my S tier skate as of now. Onto the bonus accessories, these are the Cicada Wings, basically Pulsar Supergrips but thinner. I got this sheet for $15. It is smaller than the Pulsar Supergrip Sheet, but that sheet doesn't seem to be available anymore, at least by itself. This is pretty disappointing, but I thought I'd give these a shot since these are thinner and well reviewed. These are going on my new G-Wolves Lichen as it's a super light lightweight mouse with no coating to cut weight even further. I was using the stock grips, but these are pretty junk considering the competition. The mouse is really wide and the stock grips don't really try to be thin on the sides, so it kinda adds to the width. Here's my cutting process. Use painter's tape on the sides to get an idea of where you grip, then sketch out a rough shape according to where you grip. You put this painter's tape with the sketch on the grip tape sheet and make sure to use the straight bottom edge to your advantage so you don't have to cut out that straight edge. And then use a craft knife to cut it out. These feel great, and I definitely noticed the thinness while gripping the mouse, while giving up no grip in comparison to something like the Pulsar Supergrips. I can really recommend these if you're really keen on keeping the original mouse dimensions, as I was with the Lycan, considering it's just so wide to a lot of other mice. Here's my second bonus. This is the Kibu Sleeve. This is definitely my favorite sleeve, despite one issue. It's kind of falling apart. This was also over 6 months, but I didn't even use it for a couple months, so maybe around 4 months of use. Maybe I'm just too jacked to be using this kind of sleeve, but it's kind of disappointing to have it fall apart this soon. I'm joking, by the way. Outside of durability issues, it's really my favorite sleeve. The only comparison I can make, and I hate to express it this way, is like $100 underwear versus Walmart underwear. This is definitely like the $100 pair, and the Pulsar and Waizowl sleeves are definitely like some Walmart underwear. I hope that makes sense, because it's kind of weird. I can recommend these, but be careful if you're a slightly bigger person. Maybe this is a sleeve for Asian markets, so they don't really consider slightly larger people that might want to use a sleeve. For reference, this is the largest size, and I am Asian as well, so try not to get offended by any of the statements here. But that wraps things up. I'm really loving and enjoying a lot of these accessories for my peripherals, and it helps me to buy less peripherals themselves. Especially after experiencing almost a peak mouse in the Lycan, I feel like there's less room to buy mice these days, and you should spend more time enhancing what you have rather than looking for something new.